Hello. Welcome to an exciting episode of We Have Issues. I'm Stevie Wildcard.
And I'm Anthony.
Now you do the other one. Now you do it, though. I didn't want to take it from you.
Every week we get together and...
No, I mean, like, you start the episode over.
Normally what happens, Steven, is I say it and it, like, puts me in a good mood. But I feel like you robbed me of this moment.
Listen, all I'm doing right now is giving you the end of the episode clip right at the beginning of your editing process.
Like
That's all I'm doing.
I'm just going to leave it all in. Hello. Welcome to episode 45 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony.
And I'm Stevie Wildcard.
And every week, Stevie Wildcard and I do our best. I'm tired, Steven. I'm tired. You ruined it, Steven. You took off my mojo. You stole my mojo.
Every week, we do our best. We do our best to forward, in between, down, forward, dragon uppercut the issues of the week. Tryukin!
But yeah, every week we get together and we do our best to just like flying elbow drop, jump off the high ropes, just our problems in their faces, and get things done. Most recently, it's been a semi-autobiographical time travel graphic novel musical, and dude, we are on the tail end of this thing. I finished all the lettering. I did all of my part. I was like, man, I want to make sure this book is going to be done. So I did all my part of doing the book. I was just like, I had all my stuff to do and I did it. I was like, man, I will never let you down. I will never ruin anything. I will never. So how did you do this week, Steven?
So man, like I was doing like all that stuff like you were saying just now, like, bro, I was like right there with it. I was doing all of that. And like, I was doing all of it and I was getting it all done. And then I decided to tile my man cave and I failed big time.
Failure. Is it? So you did a lot this week. So for those of you who might not have listened last week, Steven, he took a giant leap of faith and was just like, I'm going to finish all of the flatting in this book, which is a huge undertaking. That's a lot of work to do. He was going to do all the basic colors for the whole book, basically, in a week. Which, if you've ever colored if you've colored coloring pages with crayons, you know how long it can take. So the work that Steven's done is, like, stupendous. So how many pages did you actually get done?
I believe I got like 8 more done. Right now, I think we have... I think I have 2. It's random because I remember earlier I had the issue with the Dropbox. And since I was tiling my man cave, I didn't have access to my PC, which, by the way, still having PC troubles. It's not telling me I'm getting a video signal to my monitor. Anyways, so on the first Dropbox, there was the only ones I can find, which were inaccurate because you showed me that actually pages 1 through 10 were on there. But I only found 2 and 4 on there. So those are colored. And then 11 through 37 is done.
Wow. I love that it's 37.
Mm-hmm.
In a row. It's very Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
In a row? I know, it's such a beautiful way to...
But, so, no, that's amazing, though. And last week, if you didn't listen, I wanted to record the basic, like, bones of 2 songs. I did one. I want to redo it, though, because, like, there were a couple hiccups in it, even for, like, the bare bones, that I was like, I could do better than that. It was just, I haven't been playing music as much lately, so it's just, like, I want to get back into that, too, because, like, all of those songs are... I took a break from those songs for a little bit because they were hurting my spirit.
Understandable.
But I do have to get back into it. I have to like start training my voice again because my CD player broke in my car this week. Like actually last week, my CD player in my car broke. Just doesn't work anymore. Like the radio works, but who wants to listen to the radio? It doesn't. I mean, it's the worst invention ever. Like I don't like any songs on the radio. I don't care. I just don't.
There's not a single song.
There's not a single song, and like whenever it's just so hard to find a song that I actually do enjoy and actually want to sing along with. But I love singing in the car. I love, like my shoulder game is pure fire in the car, Steven. I'm just, like, I can't stop moving. I am just, like I have these people pulling up next to me, and they're like, oh, look at that guy, hot. Like, people, like, make faces at me sometimes, and I see them, and I'm like, I'm not gonna stop doing the thing I'm doing. I'm just, like, I am loving the, like... It's like, wake me up before you go. Like, it's not...
Sipping your orange Julius or whatever they were drinking in there.
That is just, like, one of the best parts of my day. You know, it's like, play with my son, get fun stuff done, do our, like, onesie sex cult nonsense, and, like, dancing in my car. Like, that's my joy, baby. But, yeah, so my stereo broke, and I was like, so I haven't been singing lately, so I feel like my throat's been dry for a week. I haven't...
The acoustics of this room.
No, but like, yeah, so I haven't felt like really comfortable playing music lately. But I do want to get back into it. I want to start. I have to restring my guitars, So I want to restring my guitar. So I have the strings, I have everything I need. I want to get back into that and just like really start training my voice again. And this week I'm going to record those songs. But I did record one, but I'll still say that just like you, I equally failed. Like I failed.
Failure's our friggin' middle name at this point. But like talking about like you like tapping into the music portion and stuff like this, and I'm sure it's the same for you. Like for me, like my art is like a wheel, and like since I do like multiple things, like I draw, I color, I play music, it's like when I turn the dial, like the other ones are in the darker side and I don't perform as well in them. So like when I'm like really in drawing mode, my music skills are like tanked. And then like when I flip it back to guitar, then my drawing skills kind of like, it's just, I get where you're coming from. Like you basically need to be on practice with it to be able to do what you're looking to do.
Yeah, I mean, in as much as like, you play instruments, you have to tune an instrument. It's like you tune yourself to a certain like frequency or whatever to get certain things done. So I'm like, now I'm in editing mode. Now I'm in, drawing mode. Now I'm in writing mode. And I'm like, but like, I kind of like tuned out of music mode for a while. So I'm like, crap, I have to like get back in there. And it's like, like without breaking any strings or whatever, so. Which.
You and your metaphors. They're fun to say. That's why I say it. That's why I listen.
Fun to listen. But, oh, dude, I don't know. So I've been having a weird week. I don't know. Things have been so weird on Twitter lately and so weird just in life lately. So I'm trying to figure out like the best ways to navigate. I got a new shirt, if you see.
Which is a beautiful shirt.
I have a lovely shirt from our friends at the Don't Make It Weird podcast, which, Steven, your art, I'm going to be able to show it this week because your art was...
The Abominable Snowman piece was featured this week.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, your Abominable Snowman piece was featured in the Don't Make It Weird podcast this week, and it was phenomenal, Steven. It was all based on a dream, apparently, right? It was... Like,
yeah, I guess Dina had a dream about it. There was like talks of it and stuff like that. And it was, I guess it had something to do with like backpacking in Canada and like who they would use, on the but anyways,
it sounds hilarious. If you want to hear the whole story, they tell it on the Don't Make It Weird podcast last week, which was an excellent episode. But they sent me this shirt, Steven. Look how beautiful it is. I love it.
It's awesome. But that shirt's wonderful, but the artist of that shirt is you, and it's a fantastic drawing of all three of them.
Thank you. Yeah, no,
I've always loved your art style, man. I've always loved it. Like, you never give yourself enough credit for like what you're able to create, but like I've always loved like your unique art style.
I think it's so funny like how art evolves and how styles evolve, because like some of the thing that makes style is just simply imperfection, like I can't draw an eye, so I draw an eye this way, and now it becomes a style, so and it's funny, like if you look at these, they all have like Sean's eyes and Daniel's eyes are completely different style, but they work for the character that they're supposed to represent. Sure. So it's just so interesting how that works. But yeah, no, I drew like they asked me to draw it, so I did, and then thankfully like they sent me one, so now I have an extra shirt and it's pretty cool. And we live in Florida, so like I need more t-shirts. I don't wear a lot of t-shirts because I'm ridiculous, I guess. I don't know, but no, I don't.
Dude, I wear jeans to work, so I get it.
Yeah, I wear jeans every day of my life. When I lived alone, before I had kids, I would just have no pants on all day. I would just be like, nope, who wants to wear pants? Like, I am a no pants household right here. Like, I have like so many Facebook memories of me just being like, who wears pants? Why are those like?
Why would you do that to the Matrix though? Making them have to render all that every day. Like that's crazy.
Oh man, the Matrix is crazy to think about too. If you think about, the idea of us being in a simulation is pretty reasonable. Like I'm pretty sure this is a simulation, and every once in a while I go through like major checkpoints, and I'm like, oh man, a bunch of Anthony's died back there. Like
there's so many Anthony's that are dead just laying on the ground.
So many. Like there's no shortage of dead Anthony's on like every in every corner. Just littered with bodies. Like Meat Boy. Like you ever play Super Meat Boy? It's just like bunch of Meat Boy bodies.
I love that they show you at the end of like the level of Super. Like here's all the times you failed.
Like okay, it's like, whatever you say what you want about like a potential afterlife or like lack thereof, but like if I was just given a giant screen, if it was just like if I could just sit in front of a giant screen and just watch anything I wanted, if they were just like, listen, what do you want to see from your life? What do you want to know? You can ask questions, answers will pop up, like wouldn't it be great to just be like, can you show me all the times I like almost died? And it's like, like, I mean,
dude, there was one time like I almost died for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you have any almost dead stories?
Oh,
you have the car one. The car one's good.
I have the car one. I've choked twice, like really bad.
Yes, the choking.
Yeah,
dude. So I used to work at. You remember when I worked at Big League Pizza? But they were, they're closed now, so we can say it. But they used to be located in like a different part of town, and we were moving everything as we went to a new location. And dude, there was 4 of us moving this dough machine. The dough machines are huge, right? It's like this big, heavy machine that it doubles as a cheese slicer and a dough machine. And we're moving this out of this door jam. And like, I was one that was like kind of in the low area because I'm, big guy. So I'm like kind of lifting the bottom. And they go to set it down and my head's against the door jam. And dude, the metal, like, as they're like leaning it forward, it was going like this. I'm like, and I could feel the pressure like mounting. And I was like, my brain's about to pop, boys. They stopped it just in time. I was like, oh my God, my head almost got crushed by a giant machine. That's crazy. My big head. Maybe the machine would have broke. I'm not sure. But yeah, dude.
We'll never know. No,
I think that's like my only real brush with death.
Yeah, I mean, I was run over by a Chevy Blazer when I was 8 years old.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, tell it. I mean, but
yeah,
obviously.
So when I was 8 years old, we lived on like the second floor, and my parents were like, all right, my brother and I, they were like, all right, guys, go wait outside. We're gonna be there in a second. We're gonna go to your aunt's house or whatever, So we go outside, and I'm waiting. I turn around and I just see my brother kind of like taking off across the street. I'm like, I don't know where he's going. I don't know why he's doing this. He just takes off, and I was like, all right, what? I don't know what he's doing. My brother's like a year, like almost 2 years younger than me. So he goes across the street and there's like a park. We lived right across the street from like a city park where there's like beautiful baseball diamond, like nice like playground, like all kinds of stuff. So he goes across the street. It's like sun's starting to go down, not dark yet, still light, Cars are kind of like pulling in baseball time, it's baseball o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So my parents come out and they're like, "Where's your brother?" I was like, "He went that way. I don't know why." Like, yeah, I was like, I tried to stop him. I did everything I could. I yelled.
What am I, my brother's keeper?
So I was like, I did everything. I did everything I could. I did all the things. I was like, "Where are you going? Why?" All right, I'm out of ideas. Like, I am 8 years old. I don't know what to do now. So my brother like runs across the street. So we go looking, right? So I have my skateboard, and we're like looking around. My parents split up, like I split up. We're all looking. Cars are filing in. I'm just like looking around. It's starting to get dark now, and I'm just like, I don't see him. I sit down on this curb, and I'm just looking at the baseball diamond, looking around, seeing if I can find my parents, and just suddenly I just see like bright lights in my peripheral, and as I turn, a car jumps up, like a Chevy Blazer jumps up on the curb, pops up on the curb, and goes poof, right onto my legs, and And I swear, okay, so like I was 8 years old at the time, but like my perception of that moment was that it was on me forever. Like that's like, and this is I swear.
Become one with the Blazer.
Yeah, I swear exactly. I swear this is exactly how it happened in my head. So like my experience of it is exactly this. It's on my legs. I do this. Like, I lean back on my arms, and I'm just kind of doing this, like, shit, like, trying to get out from under this thing, and it's going, and I look over, and I see my mom screaming, and she's like...
Yeah, it's like a Blazer's devouring you, basically.
Yeah.
It's like growling and consuming you.
So I see my mom screaming, and I see my dad, and I see my brother, and then the car, like, the Blazer goes... Like, and I've never had my head that close to a car as it's like falling off of me before, so I was just like, it was this loud, crazy noise, and it falls, and so I take my arms and I shift back, and I like my whole forearm and arm landed right in a red ant pile. So I'm sitting there and I was just like, ah! And I'm just like doing this, and like people are surrounding me, and they're like, oh my gosh, don't move, and they're screaming, don't move, and they're screaming at me, and I'm just like worried about my ant arm, I'm just like, I'm gonna like get superpowers in a bad way, and I like now I'm mad at this guy. I might accidentally like ant this dude to death, like I'm gonna send him after him or something. I don't know, like, so, like just I control all the ants now. Yeah,
1 million ants.
Sometimes traumatic experiences can make you control ants. Everyone knows this, dude. So they're like, don't move. So I didn't move. They kind of shifted me away from the ants. They got, I got off my arm. Ambulance came. They put me on a stretcher, got me in the ambulance, like rushed me to the hospital. They were like, "Don't move, no matter what," And they did X-rays and they did all this stuff. And I was just like, I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm scared. So then finally they were like, "All right, can you stand on it?" And I was like, I tried. And I was like, "It hurts." And they were like, "Well," and they like the test came back or whatever, and they're like, "You didn't break anything," and I was like, "Okay." And I tried to say, I was like, so I could walk on it, but it hurt,
Yeah, I mean, it was like whatever happened to it, basically.
And then I remember like the next day, my brother was playing soccer out like in front of our house, and I was like, I have super legs now, and I remember like kicking the ball as hard as I could, and being like, "Yeah, nothing can break these babies,"
Not even yet.
So,
That's
but
great.
then I went to school, and I went like I missed a day of school, and then like I went the next day, and I was just like, so my teacher's like, "Why'd you miss school?" And I was like, "Well, I was run over by this truck." You see what
my
happened?
teacher looked at me in a new light.
Yeah, so I was like, you see what happened was I was run over by this truck, and no one believed me. No one believed me.
No way.
Like,
No one's believing that, man.
no one believed that. No one believed it. Like, it's so funny.
You're telling me you got run over by a vehicle and you're at school the next day. That's
Yeah.
what you
That's what you're trying to.
no.
Yeah, you just don't get it, do you, child? Get out of here with your lies, your filthy, filthy lies. I remember, the only other time something like that's happened to me, not being run over by a truck, but like trying to tell a teacher something and them just having like a whatever, like total dismissal moment was the talent show.
You like won it 2 awards one night.
Okay, so the talent show.
You're the man. That's the problem. That whole thing.
Yeah, so we played a talent show. I didn't expect to win either, to like the teacher's credit, but you still don't say, like, when a student says, "Hey, I won the talent show," to you, you don't say, "You guys," and then like kind of make like you're not supposed to.
You're a teacher. You're supposed to inspire me.
Inspire me. Make me want to. You can't be incredulous about my talents right now. This is insane. All you had to do was just like be like, "Good job," and then later on be like, "That line, piece of garbage." Like, that's fine.
Anything.
So I was run over by a truck. I wouldn't call that a near-death experience, though. I think like the closest.
I mean, it could have gone. It could have gone south if you would have just kept going.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
I mean, that's near death, man.
If I was
there's a parallel Anthony out there somewhere who got full grilled to the face, and
100%.
that was his end.
Yep, 100%. And I feel like if I had I not seen the light in my peripheral to move back, I probably would have been just punched in the face by a Chevy Blazer. Yeah. Otherwise,
I just imagine like Nick Cage. Is it next?
Oh, next, yeah.
Dude, all the versions.
That concept is so good. I think that was a Philip K. Dick story, but that concept is so good. If you have
that's pretty
next with Nick Cage, which isn't a phenomenal movie or anything, but just the idea of being able to see
the idea is great.
The future is amazing. Because we all
the way they showed it too is really good. Like,
it was beautiful, dude. Because if you think about it, I mean, they did a whole thing with Rick and Morty of that too, where like he could see every potential future, so he was completely doing everything he could to get like the love of his life, But like, because you could dodge a bullet, like despite how fast it moves, you can still see in that like split second every potential movement you can make in which you potentially dodge a bullet or die, which is crazy to think about. I love that.
Crazy power. It's a pretty awesome power for sure.
Yeah, and we just talked about that last episode where it's like, because I do that all the time anyway, just not as well as Nick Cage, because like I'm constantly like, well, if I do this, this might happen. If I do this, this might happen. That's a superpower we call anxiety. But
next is just anxiety, like at the max level. It's like
pretty much
perfected anxiety. If it was in the Dragon Ball universe, it'd be ultra like perfected instinct or whatever it is.
It's like the Matrix.
It's anxiety and it's
it's like the Matrix, but Nick Cage is like, "I have anxiety." Like, yes, you do. You mastered anxiety. So good.
I don't think it's a skill set, man. Like, I don't think you're supposed to. I don't think you were supposed to keep pumping them RP points into there. So you put 5 points into strength, and like 30 points into anxiety. Why? It's not even on the talent tree. What are you doing over there?
Oh man, I love it. That was one of my favorite jokes the other day. we experienced a really weird, creepy guy on Twitter, and Steven was making the joke of, like, this guy put all of his talent points into creepiness.
Little does he know that they're nerfing creepy guy next patch, though.
Yeah, I've had a few things like I had a really bad situation that happened years back now, thankfully, but like I was eating a sub. I was eating a sub and I took a bite and I just swallowed hard and just felt all of the pressure in my throat. I just felt all of the pressure in my throat. I couldn't move. My son's Voldemort, my son's mom was sitting next to me and I was just sitting there like this. And I just like, it's only happened to me a few times in my life where like I've had that moment of like total fight or flight, like 100%, like I have the opportunity to this is my moment to either panic or do something, you know, and like only a couple times, like the most recent was when I burned my hand and, you know, like I had to put out a fire. That was crazy. That was another near death, I guess, technically, because that was bad. However, dude, so I'm sitting there just like thing in my throat and like I just couldn't breathe and I felt like for a second I just like did everything I could like with my body to just like get it up and I just like violently forced like my stomach and just pushed it out and I did it and I got it and it took a couple of like pushes to get it out and I was just like I was just bent over and I couldn't move and I was just crying basically. I was just like I that was the scariest thing that's ever happened. I was like I thought for sure I was dead. And after it happened, I was like, you know, like anything else, I'm like, it was super shaky. I was just like, I don't know how to get over this. I'm trying, like, you know, I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat for months. Like, I was like I tried to eat cereal the next morning. I remember just like that, the sensation of not being able to control my hand as it wouldn't let food go near my mouth, which was really weird, dude. Because like, being conscious of your body doing something, but not knowing how to consciously stop it, really scary, like really weird. I've never experienced anything like that. I was just like, it was impossible for me to get food by my mouth. And like, I would have milkshakes, and even then I would let the like milkshake go to one side of my mouth and slowly drip into my
I know exactly what you're talking about with that, like with the milkshake especially. Like, not to your extent. I've never, dude, that's horrible. Like I've never choked to that extent, but like my anxiety has manifested like mid-meal before where like especially like if it's a steak or something and it's just a little too chewy, it's like I can't get the bite small enough to satisfy my mind.
No, and that's all it is, dude. Fact you got it. I mean, that's what it is.
The fact that, and the fact that you're thinking about it makes the swallow that much more rough. Yep. And then therefore that much more scary, dude. Like, and then like,
it's crazy when we become too conscious of like the autonomic processes. Like, I mean, like we both have the issue. I hate to even bring it up, but like the manual breathing issue. And like you can see
manual breathing.
Dude, like I cut it out of a lot of our episodes of like me taking like a very deep breath, or I'm just like I end up cutting it out of most things. I have trouble cutting it out of my episodes I do on the Are They Still Together podcast because like we're side by side most of the time. So it's like sometimes I'm just like, oh, and like it's always just talking, and I'm like, oh, no one's watching me in that moment. Oh boy, there that is.
I am swallowing some good old tree. I don't know why I'm gonna say tree air. It's just air. I wasn't clever with it. I was trying to think of like another word.
Recycled tree spit. That's just
tree gas.
Yeah. I mean, we are just eating them tree farts all day, just swallowing them up. So we both have like, but whenever you become like hyper aware of something that you should be doing automatically, oh boy, you know, like it gets me. It gets me bad, you know. And it's really hard. It's like that, and that's why like in my car recently when my radio hasn't been working. You know what my new one is I become hyper aware of my foot on the brake. So I sit there and I feel my foot and I'm like, am I not pushing hard enough? Why is my foot slipping? What if my foot goes off to the side? It's like how wide is this pedal?
So much.
Dude. And I start sitting there. Now, here's the thing. If I have a CD player on and I'm like singing Coheed and Cambria or something, not one of those thoughts cry. I am the most competent driver in the world. I will just be like, just driving, singing my heart out and dancing like nobody's
business. It's because like Spirit Claudio's just around you, just like singing away the woes. But like, dude, for me, it's not gas pedal. It's lane spacing. Like I'll be fine. and then all of a sudden, like, am I in the right? Am I in the right spot in the lane? Am I in? And like, I just keep going back, and like, I'm like
I think
nervous.
Go ahead.
No, I'm good.
Oh, I was gonna say, one of the weirdest things about driving with lane spacing is when you realize you're like, you want to be in the middle of the lane, just like driving, but that's not really how cars work, because you're slightly to the left. So it's like, if you are in the middle, like if you as a driver are in the middle, your car is slightly to the right. So it's like, wait, this is weird. So I have to, as a driver, be slightly to the left and be okay with this, even though in my head
I have to be skewed.
I have to be slightly.
But see, and then this is the anxious mindset. I've always heard, and I don't drink and drive, but I'm crazy like this. I've always heard that drunk drivers tend to favor the curb. So like hug the left more. So they'll still be in the lane, but they'll hug the left. So a normal driver usually hugs the right, because what you're basically saying is that they want to be in the center. Yeah. But a drunk driver is so worried of hitting something that he's funny. Yeah. Away. So like my anxiety is like, you got to be more in the center, Steven. I'm like, I don't want to be more in the center.
We have to be in the left, but now everyone's going to think Steven's drunk. Like, you know why I pulled you over? Because sober Steven feels like drunk Steven because it's my anxiety, officer. But yeah, dude, it's weird. It's weird having those anxieties. I'm sure a lot of people have those anxieties and can relate to us with this. Hopefully, we'll see. And speaking of relating with people and having people in your circle and like bonding with people, you've been doing amazing on Twitter and social media lately, Steven.
Yes, I have been. And like, you guys have all been helping me. But yeah, so basically, I mean, this episode's going to air. Actually, this episode is going to air before the Friday deadline, but I only need, I think, like 11 more anyway. But so on Sunday, I basically was like, hey guys, like, I have like 390 something followers. I want to get to 500 by Friday, and I'll do an Ask Me Anything. And like, this morning, I think I woke up, I was already at like 452. And then now I think I'm already at like 490. I've made good impressions on a lot of people, I guess.
Yeah, you're a wonderful human being and we all love you.
492. So I need 8. I need 8 more followers, and then I'll do an AMA.
So if you're watching this right now, go follow our friend Steven. It's
at me, guys.
Colony Co. on Twitter. I'll post all links below, of course. Speaking, I'm sure most people. I believe in a faith that you will hit that goal for sure. I'm gonna do everything I can to make you hit that goal, even if I have to make 7 more alt accounts and just get those people in your life. I want to be, when you make that like chirpy circle, I want to be at least 4 of them. Is the thing. So.
Well, I have Photoshop, so
that's true. So Steven, Speaking of goals on social media, so like I'm pretty active on social media. I've been really active on Twitter for a while now. I post a lot of dumb stuff. I ask a lot of stupid questions. I just kind of post nonsense, and like for the most part, people seem to dig it. Like people are into it. People will like respond and engage, and it's fun. Sometimes not so much. Sometimes I get in trouble. Not me getting in trouble.
This week's been a rough one, actually.
It's been a rough one. It's been a rough one. Now here's the thing. I don't get in trouble. Like I don't say anything bad. What happens is, I will pose a fun hypothetical or like a silly question, and like there will just be some poopy pants people who like come in who are just like, I don't like that language or whatever they want to say, rather than just muting me, blocking me, unfollowing, or scrolling past. It's almost exclusively people I don't follow anyway who don't follow me anyway. You know, like people come in, they're like, I don't know you, but I have opinions. I'm like, oh no, I mean, if you must, I'd rather you not.
Zero context, Anthony. I mean, they just come right in. They don't even like browse like maybe your pinned tweet, maybe some of your more recent postings.
It's like really weird. So okay, for those of you listening or watching who aren't familiar with like Twitter and like the Twitter events and such, they do a thing called Thirsty Thursday, in which like thirst as in like, ooh, you know, you're like getting turned on, like, or like you're desperate for the like sex stuffs. So they do Thirsty Thursday. Rather than posting a video or a picture or anything of this thing, of this meat body, I decided to just like pose a silly question. And I was like, hey, there are a lot of euphemisms for male genitals. There are like, I don't very often hear fun euphemisms for like female genitals. Like, so like, what are your favorite euphemisms for that, you know, for this thing? Everyone's having fun. Just a bunch of people saying the funniest, silliest nonsense I've ever seen. And then like 2 people maybe. Like it was mostly one person who I don't even follow who was just like saying mean stuff. That was a weird situation. So it's that kind of thing, you know. Otherwise though, Steven, my social media situation has been just mostly superb. Like I made a goal and I was like, how can I get people? I needed a few more people to reach 7,000 followers on social media. And I was like, I could try to post something funny and clever. I could try to post things to like get people to like me as a person. But I was like, or I can give them the gift of hating me. So I was like, listen, I have a sworn nemesis. I have just evil enemy of Anthony's life. Like my enemy is Shannon. Everyone knows this. Everyone knows that we are at each other's throats. We don't like anything about each other. We follow each other to hate each other, and that's about it. It's a hate relationship. We all know this. So
he even has a cat, which is like a double hate on Anthony. But
true, I'm allergic to cats and Shannon. So I posed to the people. I was like, listen, people like these people like to hate me. Maybe I can get some of those people to follow me to hate me more. So I was like, okay, here's the thing. If I get to 7,000 before we record our podcast, I will let the Shannon give me one sentence to read. And I did it, Steven. I made it to 7,000, fortunately / unfortunately for me. And in true the Shannon fashion, she came up with not just one sentence, but something of a limerick that she wants me to read. So yeah, this episode has been brought to you by Shannon. And then let me see.
Shannon, she makes your day. Are you a Shannon or a Shanoff?
Okay, so I have a limerick. Something of a limerick. Now here's the thing. I have to throw a little bit of Shannon as a writer here. So for those of you who don't know,
oh jeepers.
For those of you who don't know, okay, I'll give Shannon this. Her Fjord song. She has a Fjord song. You can find the link somewhere. I know she hit it, but you can find it. You can find the link. I'll post it below if I can. I'll see if I can get the evil Shannon permission. Her Shannon's Fjord shanty was one of the funniest things I've heard in my life. It was hilarious. All the puns were just spot on. It was glorious. Shannon's book that she's working on sounds really cool. It's like Pride and Prejudice, but with a genie. And it sounds really cool. And it's like a fun situation in which like I think Elizabeth character is kind of falling for the genie instead of the dude that everyone likes, the Mr. Darcy of the book, So it sounds really cool. And like I read her pitch for it and it sounds funny and creative and great. That being said, as far as I know, like I'm not a professional limerick writer / reader, right? I only dabble. But what I do, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be 5 lines is the thing. She gave me 6 lines.
Well, it's one because she hates you, right?
And that's the thing. I think it's one more because she hates me. That's why I was gonna bring that up, Steven, because I'm pretty sure. So is it that Shannon is a terrible writer and doesn't understand how limericks work, or is it that she's such a good writer that she was like, I'm gonna make this worse for Anthony by adding an extra line? I'm gonna go the evil route. I'm gonna give her the benefit of doubt and say that she knew what she was doing and she just hates me that much.
Shannon straight up created the limerick plus, which is it's some pretty hateful stuff to do, really, to anybody.
So, this is the limerick as written by the Shannon. I am a foolish man named Antoine. In terms of beard hairs, I don't have one. Sometimes I bully children for fun. Something fjord, but now you must be bored. The takeaway is I'm a Shannon.
Oh, man. She got you to admit that you're a Shannon on your own podcast. You got me to admit that I'm a
Shannon. See, if, for those of you who don't know, I have a rivalry with Shannon, and my people are tried and true Shanoffs. But I had to just now say that because I did the thing, and I have to. I'm a Shannon of my word is the thing. I had to go through with it. So yeah. So that's what. Thank you all for following us on Twitter and social media in general, and thank you for sharing all of the stuff that we do. It's hard, dude. It's so hard to maintain a balance, isn't it? Like it
is.
Like I know you're like you're newer to Twitter and stuff, but you see it like. People get annoyed if you share links too often. People get annoyed if you share the same pages too often. People get annoyed if you like retweet the same, profiles too often. It's just like you have to navigate these weird waters where everyone's kind of trying to sell something, but they're not allowed to say it all the time. So It really is weird, dude, because like we want everyone to watch our podcast. Not everyone sees everything I post, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you know? How do you know when to post the links? How do you know when is too many? How do you know like if it's not enough? How do you so
I always get like nervous on how much progress they actually want to see. Like, am I ruining the exposure to the book by showing you the flats, showing you the pencils, showing you the final colors, showing you the word balloon, showing you,
Yeah, well, and like I worry about that too. Like, you don't want to give people fatigue, Like, I don't want to make people like sick of our book before they get a chance to actually absorb the book. But dude, yeah, so it's weird trying to like navigate those waters and like be an entertaining person who also would like people to click our links and subscribe to our podcast. Like I am. Yeah. I do. Okay, I enjoy Twitter. So this coming Wednesday, we're going to be watching a movie. So every Wednesday, I do a thing called Weird Movie Wednesday. And I've been getting more and more people involved in this thing. And it's so much fun. Last week, we watched a movie called Santa Jaws, which was absolutely like absurd. I couldn't get over the fact that like every once in a while, I'll watch one of these movies and I'll guess the ending. And I'm like, I kind of feel like I ruined this moment for myself because I'm like, I know what's going to happen. And I'm already mad at it. And I don't want to be mad at all. But I'm already mad at the ending of this movie. So here I am, like, I want to be, like, clever and funny and say things. But I'm just thinking about, like, all right, I, like, bring it to the end so I can see that I'm right. Just tell me I'm right and let me move on. So that's what happened with that movie. But, and I was right at the end. So I was like, a little sad. Dude, so, like, I've been having fun on Twitter doing that stuff, having, like, our, like, group chats and stuff and all of that. But every once in a while, I feel like I get lost in like the drama of it, or I get lost in like the addiction or like the fear that like I'm not posting funny enough stuff, or I'm not, I'm just like what are these expectations? I don't even know. Am I even meeting them? Am I like, what do people think of me? I don't know. I somehow 7,000 people are following me. That doesn't mean that's how many people are seeing my posts, but they're still following me. So it's like it's just weird. It's fun to try to navigate that, but it gets so exhausting sometimes. I'm just like, I want to be better at things, but I also don't want to lose my life doing it. All right,
I feel you.
Yeah, so
for sure.
Yeah,
I can't imagine having to see that many, because like even if my like small amount of followers, like I feel like it's hard to navigate the timeline sometimes, especially with the algorithm and like what it decides I want to see, so
it's so weird.
Can't imagine with like 7,000, like that's gotta be.
Yeah, like I follow almost that many. I would follow like 6,000.
Yeah, you're close.
Like I'm close.
I'm proud of myself. I finally have a number that's higher the other way, because like I've always followed, but now I've actually, I know some people are alt accounts. I know some things are that. So I'm like, I'm not going to follow, but anyone that's followed me or follows me that is seemingly real whatsoever, I will usually follow back. But yeah, so I feel like a real Twitter person now that I have more followers than followings.
Yeah. It's funny. Like if any of you are out there listening or watching this and you're not on Twitter, join us on Twitter at We Have Issues Pod, because our actual podcast Twitter account, I feel like I neglect it so much, and I don't mean to.
It is just the bastard son of us. Like, I mean, we produced it, we came together, we birthed it in love, and then we just put him in the corner, and
we're not
supposed to do that to him.
I didn't
abandon that baby.
I didn't mean to. Because I like having it for the for helping to create ads for the podcast and such, and like promoting it, but we fall into that weird juggle of like, if even if that page only promotes its own itself, people don't care. They don't, it'll fall on deaf ears, and it'll just end up in the corner, like sitting alone by itself, shouting links to the heavens. Like I don't
eating the store brand version of Cheetos. And who wants to eat the store brand version of Cheetos?
No one. I didn't even know they still made those, because Cheetos are so good. Why would anyone do that to themselves?
They're just puffs, cheese puffs. Like they don't have a name. They don't have a mask. They don't have an awesome mascot with sunglasses. They don't have any of that. It's just,
oh man. Oh, it's funny how mascots work, right? I mean, like we all remember so many mascots, like I just.
What I want to know is why Smacky the Frog and the Golden Bear existed at the same time. Like, how are you going to have two name brand same cereals? Like,
that is weird.
The audacity, right?
Yeah.
Like that bear must have really thought he had something going. I mean, Smacky won, but like there was a period of time in the 90s where there was two Sugar Smack style cereals, and the bear lost.
So what's next for you, Steven? What are you going to do this week?
So this week, I am going to, for real, like not even any question, finish flatting the rest of the pages, and then I will probably start shading. I gotta get my PC up and running so I can do some. I have a much easier time doing the glow effect on Photoshop than I do on Procreate.
Okay.
So I need to get that going because honestly, any page where there's intense green, I don't really have to shade the characters that much. I just need to go in with the light effects and then kind of determine what colors I need, because the characters are going to be glowing green basically. So I just need to figure out where the lighting is going to go from the green energy. But yeah, so I'm going to finish doing the flats this week for sure.
Okay, cool.
You, Anthony, what are you doing this week?
I'm going to, for sure, record 2 songs. That's my plan. I'm going to get them down and make them good.
So the comic will be, I'm assuming the comic will be fully colored, and then we'll edit colors. We'll go over it. And I think the comic will actually be done by this month, really.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, like the comic will just be done.
I can't wait.
The music is what we're going to have to.
Yep. Yeah. And then we're gonna jump into the music, and I feel like that's gonna be a much faster process than like we anticipate. But it'll be. I feel like
since the music is, we're still going to take it very serious, but the music isn't the art. The art we were pushing with this was the writing and the art for the actual comic. Right. So the music is more of like an extra, a bonus basically from us. So it's I don't feel as pressured to make it as perfect.
Yeah, for sure. So. But thank you all for watching. Thank you all for listening. If you're only listening on one of the various podcasting apps, we are available on YouTube every single week. You can see all the art. You can see all the pictures and the posters and all of our Steven's beautiful face. So join us at youtube.com/wehaveissuespodcast. Otherwise, all of our links are down below. We really do appreciate you. We would love it if you would tell anyone to subscribe to our podcast, because it really does help us. I've been looking at the numbers, and it seems that we're about halfway to being able to monetize our podcast, which is really cool. It means like within a year of doing it, almost, like we will be able to monetize. It would be nice to be able to do it sooner if we get more people watching this thing that we're doing. But yeah, I love you, Steven. It's been fun talking to you.
I love you too, Anthony.
Yeah, dude.
This has been another amazing episode of We Have Issues.
See you next time. Welcome to episode 45. We have issues. We have... Hello! Hang on. Oh, hang on. I'm sure a lot of people have those anxieties and can relate to us with this. I would like to imagine... I like that we're both going through, like, allergies. We're both, like, trying to, like... But...
I'm sniffing your it's
my throat.
It's summertime in the Florida. The trees are just like
starting their allergens right now.
They're just enjoying themselves.
But